Say that one more time.
I hired I hired that VA.
Oh, so we can talk about how'd you, well, the steps were, what VA? I know you're talking to me about a VA, but like,
So
you were
I
looking
put
for a VA to make call for you, right?
yeah, well, he's going to handle the agent outreach on the text message side.
Oh, just texting.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we've been doing. I mean, we text a bunch of agents, and then when if and when they reply, we try to get them on the phone. Uh,
Mm.
but this guy, so I put a post out on that uh Facebook website or group that you told me about.
Riva?
Yeah, a bunch of people hit me up, like a bunch. And
Yeah.
most of them, so it's pretty easy to kind of sort them out because a lot of them they misspelled and didn't make any sense in their reply to me. So it's like, okay, well then you can't text agents for me. Um,
That's a good test.
and then a lot of them were just advertising, cold calling and this and that. So this guy hits me up and he's like, "Hey, are you using AstroBlaster or Go High Level?" And I was like,
Ooh.
"Yeah." He goes, "Okay, cool. I've built out a couple workflows for guys in Virginia and somewhere else." Apparently, there were uh, what do you call it? Astro flipping students. He gave me one name. I can't remember what it was. But anyways, I hopped on a call with him today. I talked to you a little bit about how much to pay him and all that. Um, so $5 an hour, 30 hours a week, $50 for a closed deal. And he's gonna
Five
build out.
bucks now.
Yeah, he's got the build out for like his own build out for agent outreach on Astro Blaster. He's just gonna put it in my system.
All the follow-up sequences, all the triggers.
Yep.
Are you doing RVMs? And so he's
Yep.
gonna set that up for you.
Yeah, custom one that he's built that I guess has been working for him. I like the idea of it. I haven't seen it, but he's so I'm sure like Astro Blaster, the texting, it's all one size fits all for every agent. And he's got it built out for like four different stages of agent, like VIP through, you know, doesn't do many deals.
And he knows where, okay, and he knows where to put them in the bucket off the
Yep.
conversation, probably, huh?
Yeah. And then I could put them in each bucket too. So the ones that I know, I get told that a lot by agents, like, don't follow up with me so much. I never get these deals. And it's like, okay, well, I don't have a workflow for you. But also I'm just gonna keep following up until you tell me to stop because if we're not doing any deals, then who cares?
What's the follow-up like? Like how
For
far
me,
apart are you?
it's like it's whatever the standard thing is with Astro. So it's like every 2 weeks or
Two
12.
weeks.
Yeah, something like that. It works out like it's in priming stage for a day or two, and then it kind of goes through whatever, and it follows up with them in like 10 days. So I think it's 14 days total, but it's a
Yeah.
lot for agents that just do retail listings. They don't, they're just trying to be nice to you and say, and not tell you to beat it, but
Exactly.
it's kind of crazy for them. So, for those guys will get touched once a month. Some guys will get touched once a quarter. Um, and then
Yeah.
some people get touched, once a week. And some people are just
Mhm.
manual only, like just set a reminder and follow up with them every couple of weeks, but make a phone call and talk to them because
Yeah.
they're doing business.
Hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, like, so I got another deal coming in supposedly, and I've worked with the agent, so I believe him. It'll be the second deal I've done with him this year. I just did the third one with another agent,
Hmm.
and then another agent, we did two. So that's 5 deals out of 13 with two agents, and now it'll
Mm.
be 7 deals out of 14 with 3 agents.
7 out
So,
of 14 with just 3 agents.
so with just those 3 agents, I mean, you could make 100 grand a year.
I'm glad you said that. Let's go.
If you're thinking, somebody's thinking about quitting their 6-figure job, just get 3 agents that are good.
Flip
And then
it. We're gonna put that.
those agents love me. because I've already performed for them.
Exactly.
So it's just a matter of keeping up that trust and coming through. And you know, if a deal goes sideways, just be upfront and honest. But hasn't happened yet. So with all those agents, I've gotten all the deals closed.
I love it. 3 agents, 100K a year, the
Yep.
Cordova method.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I think what's his name? Ryan Zolan. He's in my town. That is.
I've heard the name a lot.
He's the agent investor guy. Um, he says kind of the same thing. He's got like 30 VIP agents that he works with, and he doesn't even really need to follow up with them. They just bring
Mm,
because he's proven himself to come through.
yeah, okay, yeah. I think I seen him. I think he got interviewed on a podcast with Ryan.
Yeah, yeah, with Davila. He was on Pineda's podcast too, I think a couple years ago.
Yeah, all agent deal. Yeah, that's why I know him. Gotcha.
Yeah. What's going on with Pineda and you and Broham and all that? Are you guys still in the program?
Oh yeah, because you probably like you dipped a long time ago, right?
It's been a year about.
Yeah. Wow, it's been a year.
So
So let me think back last summer. Oh, you were gone last summer.
yeah.
Wow. Jeez, man. So with me, man, I literally just was still coaching with them probably like two months ago. Um, and I just noticed that I like there was a what was this past quarter? Q2?
Mhm.
Q2, I didn't have any calls really. Just people could schedule one-on-ones with me. And I had a day, I had 2 days when I had you guys. I had an
Mhm.
accountability team, and then I had a wholesale Thursdays, not one-on-one, but wholesale 201. So like a little more advanced.
Yeah.
I ran that for like a long time, but then they took me off. And then I kind of just chilled in limbo for like a quarter. And then I noticed I stopped getting paid. And I was
Mm.
like, yeah, am I still am I still
They're
coaching
like,
with you guys?
they're like, you
And
can do it if you want. We're just not paying you.
I was like, I probably would for you do a call once a week for you guys without pay. Um, this is good. This is great, good for me, man. It's good training. It's good leads. It's good
Yeah, I'm sure you get some
students
deals
and
out of it.
referrals. Yeah, because every once in a while someone's gonna be like, "Bro, can you just coach me?" And I'm like, "Yeah," you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, yeah, even to this day, like I would do it. But yeah,
But
with
now you have your own. I mean, this is not just a Facebook group, right? You have like your own course.
oh yeah, I got my own mastermind. I got my own. So this is brand new. I talked to man, I talked to Trevor. I don't know if you remember
Okay.
Trevor.
Yep. Yep.
That you do remember him, yeah.
Buyer beater. Yeah.
He started his own, and he's
Yep.
absolutely destroyed it.
Yep.
Like hundreds of not thousands students.
Yeah. And hundreds of deals.
Um, what's that? You did a deal with him?
No, I haven't, but he's doing a lot of deals from what I can see all over the country. Like just from his people that are it's like Pace Morby style. His
Yeah,
people bringing deals. I
he's
still
pays
have
Morby
him.
too.
I have Trevor, in my contacts, and he told me he would fund a we talked about that when I was still in the program. I was looking for novations. I never got one.
You never got one to work, right?
No.
How did you get discouraged and stop pushing them? I think that's what happened to us.
No, I
Like,
still I still bring it up. Like if I'm just a little bit off in an offer, I'll still say, well, I could get them more money. We got to do this, that, and the other thing. And they go, the agent doesn't
they
understand it,
don't
so
get
they
it.
bring it to the seller. I feel like it's better direct to seller,
100.
but I don't know. I mean, Trevor says he does them on market deals and whatnot all the time. I've never done it.
It'll be awesome, like, for the people underwater. Well, not really underwater. That'll be more creative.
Sub two, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be more creative stuff. Um, but yeah. I think our team, they just like, we'll try it. We'll get all excited. It won't happen. And then I
Yeah,
don't think they pitch it. It'd be different if I was flipping it. If you're going to wholesale it,
stuff.
it's tough. It's very, very difficult, like to like wrap your mind around it because the seller's like, okay, so you're gonna buy it? Well, my partner,
Yeah.
it's like, come on, that's too much.
I have a buddy out here, his name's Evan Liu. He's part of the Sub 2 group, and I'll bring creative stuff to him. We've had some that got close. Like we've had a couple under contract, we just couldn't sell them.
Mm.
But he's a go-to guy for me. I feel like it's important if you're not going to do it full time, just have a go-to guy that does it, so you can bring those deals to him, and he'll underwrite them. He'll tell you if you can do it, if you can't. Like if it's FHA, he's like, it can be done, but we don't do them. Most title companies won't do it. That kind of stuff. So him and what's the other guy? The Asian dude. Well, I guess they're both Asian. Um, he's real high up in sub two. I can't remember.
Cho, it's not just Kevin Cho.
Cho, Kevin Cho. Yeah, he's out here too. But he only does sub two. That's it. He doesn't do any seller finance, nothing like that. No foreclosures.
Hmm.
And then I got a guy out here that does short sales. So now that Danielle's got a license, he'll do a short sale and pay us a referral. He just takes it over.
Hmm. Like a nice, like a whole, almost like an assignment fee.
Yeah, I think it's like 30% or whatever, 20-30%. But pretty much I'm just doing cash deals, dude. Just doing fixers.
Yeah, where the money is. And you got plenty of houses to offer on. You don't have like a shortage, right? Like we do.
No, no. Yeah, I know. I heard, I think it was Davila talking about Vegas being hard because everything's pretty new out there. There's not a
Pretty
ton of
new.
there's not a bunch of old fixer uppers there like we have here,
Right.
like 1960 something, 50 something houses.
Not a
Uh,
lot, no.
I don't
No.
know. I mean, the Boakley brothers do a lot of deals still, right? I think I haven't talked to them.
It's funny because when people bring them up in their model, first I'm like, their dads are rich. If
Yeah,
it all folds and collapses, daddy's got them.
yeah,
They can borrow money at rates you can't even.
yeah.
Why are they even teaching this? Because you're not going to be able to duplicate what they do. That's why I
There's
had to create the version that I created off of it because
yeah,
my daddy's don't own Chevron gas station. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah. Nightclubs or whatever it is. Um,
Like,
yeah, there's only one other person that I've heard that does kind of the same model where they just have buyers agents working for them. But I mean, Tim, their main guy, he's
yeah,
like anomaly. He's just a maniac and he doesn't want to own a business, so he'll just work for them forever and just crush, 90 deals a year or whatever he's doing.
right, right.
So yeah, it's easy if you have a really large financial backing and just a maniac acquisition guy.
Yeah, and you can do luxury. So like there's no like competition's not a
Very
problem.
low. Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're perfect. I would do it too.
Yeah.
That's
Luxury
that's
luxury's tough. I prefer it to the small stuff. If I'm gonna do small flips, like I talk all the guys in town that I talk to, they do, they're playing it safe, they're playing it smart. They're doing 1975 and newer, under 1,800 square feet or 2,000 square feet, light rehabs, but they're
yeah,
averaging 30K a flip.
yeah, nothing.
That's too much brain damage, dude. Just make a 15K assignment and move on.
Yeah.
Or go get a big dog, make a couple hundred K, but then as and I know, you can get your ass kicked there.
So the 30K. What's the purchase? What's like the all in on those?
Difficult.
Are
So
they,
like the ones that these guys love, and I love them too because they sell so fast, is like the 90s, 80s, 90s stucco tile roof, um, 1,500 square foot track home. And
yeah,
it just needs, paint, carpet, kitchen, bath. It's purchase price, three something, low threes, rehab 30 grand, ARV four and a quarter, maybe 400, 450. And
you don't
they're
make like
well, I'm getting them under contract at three, selling them to them for 315 or so. And after everything's said and done, they make 30, maybe $40,000. But then the guys that I know, they have a whole team. They have project managers. Some of them are splitting the money with their contractor.
right.
Contractor's their cousin or whatever. Uh, it's too much risk and too much um, like the slow money. It still takes three months or whatever, even if you're fast. I don't know. I sold one to a dude in Havasu. He had that thing back on the market. He did floors, re um, shingled the roof, updated countertops and all the fixtures, and resurfaced a pool in like 21 days.
Funny you say that, dude. I moved from Vegas to Missouri. I was having some health issues, so I wanted to be close to my family. And those guys out there let me borrow one of their contractors. It was a Latino guy because the contractors in the Midwest is horrible, dude.
Really?
Horrible. Oh, dude, they're white dudes and they're black dudes who are some of the most entitled.
Hmm.
I don't work weekends.
Oh,
I, you're paying them and they just won't show up.
yeah.
Bad attitude I've ever seen. I never want a white dude or a black dude to touch my house again.
That's the
They
same
got
thing
to
out here.
Latino.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's the same thing out here. That's all I've worked with. Yeah. And
what?
they've been bad.
Yeah, dude. And so they had a Latino crew. Like they were like hiding him. They're like, all right, I think you're cool. Here you go. You probably know Sam, Faster House. He's blowing up on. Ryan just had him at WealthCon speak. Um,
Sounds
yeah,
familiar.
they Sam Prim. He's
Yeah.
huge on TikTok.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is he
so
he's the guy that's all over TikTok talking about no money out of pocket. Buy he owns a ton of rentals.
yeah, 100,
Yeah.
200 rentals and all that stuff. Yeah, him and so they're St. Louis boys. That's where I'm born and raised. And so
Yeah.
I joined their mastermind and they kind of hooked me up and their crew. So they showed up to my house, 6 o'clock in the morning, six dudes. I was like, what? Dude, they've knocked my house out in a week.
Nice.
Everyone just went after it. I was like, why don't we just do that? It's probably used to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But got another job, so they started to spread stuff out.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah, that's how all my best buyers work. Like they focus all their time on getting the crews, managing the crews, getting the systems down, all the materials um ordered and all that. Like they even have warehouses, they stock them up. Getting money obviously cheaper, cheaper and cheaper. And then they just rely on guys like me and you to get the deals. They have no acquisition team. Their
Mhm.
acquisition team is the head guys just staying on top of all the wholesale deals.
Right.
It's like okay, that's good, but I would rather build the acquisition like this is my vision. I'm building the
Me too.
acquisition machine, and then I'll go back to flipping and I'll cherry pick the deals from my deals, which I get deep. I the one that I just sold that was a 65k spread, the guy was super happy. And he's going to make money on that deal because he can do it faster and cheaper than I can. But I wouldn't make money at what he bought it at, you
He's
know?
got like money and money cheap and a crew cheap.
Yeah, well, he's the contractor, his partner's got the money, and then his partner's wife is a listing agent. So they're saving a bunch of money on
Mm.
contracting and uh, what do you call it? Commissions on the back end. So just they, and these days, I don't know if they'll pay a buyer's agent. They probably will, but that's all they're paying. So he was happy. It was weird because I walked the house with him and he goes, dude, be honest with me. Is there something really wrong with this house? Because it's so cheap. I was like, no, dude. I mean,
Oh, you can pay me more if you want.
yeah, but it was already a 65K spread. So if you imagine,
You're making 65?
well, it was 65
Or the
total, 15 to the dispo house and 40 to me.
why
Uh,
didn't you get a buyer plan more?
huh?
Like, why didn't you sell it for more?
That was the price that we listed it at was above what we thought we could get. And we had offers. So we listed it at, we put it out at 525 and we had a bunch of offers at 500, 490, which is kind of what we thought. We had it under contract at 470, 475, something like that. And so we got a bunch of offers at 500, 490 from the VIP buyers. And then this guy came along and he just snatched it up full price, 525.
Oh, so you made like
60, it was 65K spread. 470,
65K spread for you.
470, he bought it for 525.
475.25. Oh, to you. Okay. Yeah, that's juicy, bro. That'd be awesome if we could grab that right now. I make that on, shoot, I need 6 deals to make that on with these little indie deals.
Yeah, but you guys are doing a lot more deals than me.
It was funny, dude. It's like, I'm for years, ever since I started wholesale, I've had this block. And what the block is, let's say you're gonna make $500,000 wholesaling, but you live in a market where you just do two deals a year. You're gonna do 2 deals. You'd rather do 500K on 2 deals
Yeah,
or four deals a month.
right,
Consistent. Boom, boom.
right.
Psychologically, the 4 deals a month helps me psychologically because it's a machine, it keeps going.
Yep, you always
It's,
got stuff in the pipeline.
yeah.
Yep.
2 a year, dude, you're sitting there for
You're like, oh my
eight
God.
months. Like, is it working? Is it
Yeah,
not?
I mean, if you think about
Going
it, like
crazy.
I've made, half my money on for the year on 3 deals, 3 or 4 deals, probably three. So I had, I think I'm at 185 for the year. Um, 30, 40, 20. So
That's
what's
good
that?
money, bro.
That's
That's
30, 40, 70,
that's
90.
awesome.
So more than half on 3 deals. So that is kind of scary because like at the beginning of the year when I first started doing this, seriously in wholesale, um, there was 12K, 13K, and then like we had like 20 grand made for 20, 30 grand, whatever, made for like the first quarter and a half. And then bam, 30K. And I was like, oh, okay. So, when I used to sell cars, I was a more of a gross guy than a volume guy. So that's just who I've been. So and then but when you're in between deals and there's nothing in the pipeline, if you get scared, then you take the smaller deals. You contract things that are a little thinner. You don't let them pass. Um, for me, I needed to get a couple fatties in there, get some money in the bank, and then I could kind of sit back and wait for the bigger deals. So now I'm trying not to touch anything less than 10, 15 grand. My average is still 15. I've done some.
So you'll let an 8 grand deal, you'll be like, you'll let it go.
No, but if it becomes an $8,000 deal, it will only be because, I couldn't sell it for what I thought and I was trying to make 15 or I had to split it or something. Um, I did a deal this year that I made $4,200 on. It's like, okay. And that was kind of a tough one. The smaller ones tend to be
Oh, bro, they're the worst.
the 40K deal and the 30K deal were the two
Easiest deals ever.
just big bang boom here.
Easiest
So
deals ever. The fatter the
yeah,
deal, the smoother it is.
yeah. So I definitely pass up a lot of deals that probably could make 5, 6 grand, whatever, maybe even 8 grand. Um, if it doesn't
Wow.
look like a 10, 15k deal, then it's too tight for me. I don't want to go back and have to do the renegotiation and all that stuff. That happens when I just mess up on running the numbers. I underwrite it wrong. I miss something, whatever. I contracted a house last week that I didn't comp. The agent calls me and he goes, "Hey, I got this house. We've never done a deal together." He goes, "I got this house. What do you take a look at it?" And he tells me the address over the phone. Not He didn't text it to me, tells me it. I put it in wrong into the MLS or into Privy. I comped the wrong house and I gave him a number that didn't work for his house. It was like his house is 2,000 square feet. This other house is 3,000 square feet and real clean. And so I gave him like $100,000 too much for the
That's a
offer.
high.
Yeah. And I had to tell the guy, I met him at the house to walk it after we got under contract. And I'm like, dude, this isn't the house that I ran numbers on. So I'm still I have the Binzer in my email right now trying to get the price reduction, but the now the seller wants way too much money. So
Once more, they go up.
yeah, he's like, "Well, you gave me a 950 offer." And the house next door sold, the lot next door sold for 950. That's where he got his number at. That's where my offer came in. I would have worked for the other house, not this one. Um, but I talked to the guy that bought the lot next door. He's selling that house for $5 million. The what he
Mm.
bought, and he built a 7,000 square foot house in North Scottsdale. $3 million on the bill.
Mm. But going back, dude, so okay, so you said if you underwrite the deal and let's say it makes 5K, you're probably not gonna, it's too much for you. You're like, it's too much hassle for me to like deal with it, have to renegotiate if things don't go right, work the deal. But let's say it makes 5K and you pass up a deal a month.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money
Yeah, it
at the end of
doesn't
the
quite
year.
work out like that. I like,
It's not that much. It's not that good.
yeah, it's never, nobody ever says, here's a $5,000 deal. And I go, no, thank you. Um, I'm trying to hold out for more, So if it's tight, usually my competition is like 15, 20 grand above me, or at least that's what the agents are telling me. Like, hey, I need it for whatever, 100 grand, and they got an offer for 130, 120 might work, or 125. I'll hold my number because when that thing goes under contract and then comes back, I need it even steeper. And
Why
then
even more?
because now it's been all over the damn wholesale market.
Oh, a wholesaler locked it up too high.
Yeah. So
And
I
now
get
that,
a lot of my deals that way from things coming back on
yeah, we
market and
too.
falling out of
Us,
contract.
us too, yeah.
So
Because we're
so
already
instead of
there. Like,
yeah, so don't so my thing is like don't blow my load if I'm not going to get the deal. Don't come up all the way to that kind of mini deal on my offer if this other guy's still going to be above me.
mm,
Let him get it, let it fall out, and then say, "See, I told you it's got to be here," and then contract it somewhere close to that number and try to make a bigger deal.
yeah. And it's
But
funny because, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, my average fee is still 15 grand for the year, 14, something like that. So I've definitely taken smaller deals, and big deals have turned into small deals. You know, um, I had one where I contracted it. I sent it to my guy at Keegley, and he's like, "Dude, we want this. We'll actually buy this." And it was like a 20, 30k rip. The seller, somehow he was also a wholesaler. I'm not sure how that happened, but he found out because he saw it on Keegley's list. He called Keegley and told him what I got it for.
Oh, don't do
So
that.
So that turned a 30K deal into a 5K deal.
Oh,
It was 4,200. Yeah.
he wanted more money in his pocket.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but whatever. We sold it. I had to split it with somebody. But yeah, I don't know. Can I share my screen? I'll show you
Oh yeah. Multi. Yeah, go for it.
I'll show you my little rundown. Share this one. Oops. Can you see the AstroBlaster?
I do. Looks
Okay.
familiar.
Yeah. I saw the podcast today with Jamil. They were talking about that Dispo Blaster or whatever.
Oh yeah, the one I showed you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So here's the closed deals. 9,900, 12,000 essentially, 40. There's the big dog. 4,250 if you want 100, 5,000, 20,000, 5,000, 9,500, 30,000, 13, 12. And then I got 12.3 in escrow. And then this is the one I'm having a hard time with because I comped the wrong house. But you
Oh,
can
that's
see
the
like
one.
it's pretty spread out, and I don't have a lot of deals.
Like
So
a deal a month.
yeah, was it
Would you say it's about that over the last year?
it's closer to two. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Okay.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Is that right?
And over the last 6 months.
Yeah, all this year.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 deals a month.
So almost 2 deals a month. But yeah, the volume's not there, but the gross is, the money, And most of these deals were split. This one was a small fee for somebody else. Adobe.
Oh, they're bringing buyers. You're JVing with them.
I've only sold, well, now it's technically 2 deals I've sold directly to a buyer. Everything else has been co-wholesale, somebody else selling it for me.
Well, now you know you need to work. What you're gonna work. So let me ask you, what's the plan moving forward the next year, next 2 years? What's that look like? What are you gonna focus on?
Yeah, let me get my screen back here. I can't see it. Where'd you go? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, they like updated it now. There's tabs and Zoom
There we
now.
go.
I was messing with it too.
So the plan is, step one, VA, take over the agent outreach, and follow up. Danielle's doing
Initial. Yeah.
Danielle's doing MLS. She's going to take over that completely.
So
So
you're
now,
adding a whole new system of offers.
yeah,
So that's a dump. That should be another stream of income. Okay.
I mean, she's crushing it so far. She hasn't done a deal. She's only been doing it for a week, but I've watched her on the phone. She's great.
Mm.
She's doing really well. Like these people like her. She's a
Mm-hmm.
female. She's friendly.
Mm.
She's an
Most of the realtors are
agent.
females.
Yeah, and she's an agent too, so they connect. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The agents love
Scream
that.
one of
So,
them.
and then
Oh, good,
Danielle's
Danielle.
friendly, personable.
Danielle's awesome. You got an
Communicates well.
awesome wife.
So she's going to crush that. I think she's just her doing that. She's going to double our volume and hopefully revenue. I know on market deals are tougher. I mean, the only on market deal I've done this year was 30K, 31. So there is big deals out there, but I think
Yeah.
on average, probably 10K for on market stuff. I'm just assuming. It's just I know the buyers. The buyers go, if this is on market. And
Some
then
care, some don't.
yeah, well, out here, I don't know if you experience this, but out here for sure, a lot of buyers just wait for they don't even wait for you to fall out of contract. They'll go direct to the agent and make their offer.
You,
You have it under contract. Try to go around you.
yeah, they for sure will do that. You ain't getting. We're still doing what we're doing.
I got
With you
snaked
being
once.
shady, like keep on being shady, bro. Like we
Yeah.
find out, we put you on blast.
Yep.
I'm glad I know.
Yep.
There's some people right now I don't talk to because they did it to me. right?
Yep.
But we still are making our money, so go ahead.
Yeah, you just got to get good deals. Just it all goes back to underwriting and negotiating.
Okay, so you said adding MLS,
Yep.
you giving you more, taking some stuff off your shoulders by
Yeah.
giving the agent outreach to a VA. You're
Yep.
still going to negotiate when it gets real, right?
Yep. And
So what's it
underwriting.
going to free you up? Like
Yeah.
to do what?
To do intro calls with agents because we still want to get as many of them on the phone as we can, in the start. And then obviously when they have a deal, I got to get on the phone with them. Um, to underwrite properties. So I could help Danielle,
Yep.
stack her up on the MLS deals. Because that's right now, that's her big holdback, her like kind of choke point is it takes her a long time to run deals.
Huh.
Yeah, she's when you first start, she's like comp.
Overanalyze.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
She's
you're about
like,
to flip it. We're wholesaling, mama. We just
yeah,
got to be close.
yeah. She's sending it to the lender, get it underwritten. So, so yeah, she takes too long, but she'll get faster, and then I'm gonna try to help her there, and then eventually, I like the idea of what you said, like you have somebody, a VA scraping that list and just putting the good stuff in front of you. Um, yeah, I think that's it for now, and then just manage the VA, help Danielle where I can, make all my offers, and then also, when I get stuff under contract, focus more on the dispo. So the plan is for my dispo is when I get a deal under contract, whether I give it to another wholesaler or not to sell, I'm still calling all my buyers and all, I like to do um, I'll go on Privy and pull up all the flips in the area, like within a mile, and just call all those agents and put those agents on my buyers list. A lot of time the agents are the flipper.
Oh yeah, that's how they do it out there a lot.
Yeah. So that's where I found this buyer for it happened to be a two house deal. Like it was two separate contracts, but it was the same seller, same agent, and same buyer. I sold it to the same buyer. She took both.
Shut up. Oh, I forgot I'm recording. I'm glad you said that. I want to like pull the curtain back a little bit more because I think I think the MLS is awesome, but I think you like should focus on building your buyers list. Because right now you're splitting all those deals. I know you maybe it's not 50-50, but dude, once you build your buyers list, like really make it a point, and you already got a VA that's like, dude, they're texting, bro. They're texting. They
Mhm.
totally might have enough. They totally should have enough time. I don't know for sure, but to start texting buyers too, a certain period of time a
I
day.
tried to get this guy to do it. That's what I told him. I'm like, look, dude, I know because I've done it. It doesn't take you all day to do the
No.
agent outreach. So I'd like you to start reaching out to buyers as well. And he's like, oh, that's going to be more money. I need a commission or something like that. I don't know. So it might be worth it. If the kid's good, maybe I pay him $7 an hour instead of 5 or something like that. But um,
$5 an hour for how many hours?
6 a day, 30 a week.
That's a lot for a texter. I know he's bringing the system, and if you like him, rock it. I probably like, and they're trained, they know real estate too, but that's high. That's pretty high for texting. If he's having conversations, you want to get on the phone? Yeah, bro. Because I was thinking like my VA would cold call a certain period at a time and then text a period of time because you're just sitting there just texting, you know what I mean? Then I look at that. I wonder if I could like maybe show him like this is what it is, dude. Like you could totally do it within like your shift. You know what
I,
I mean?
I think I think I'm
It's
gonna
not a
let it
lot.
ride for a week or two and see how it goes because he's in my system, so I'll be able to see his activity. If he's legitimately working 6 hours a day, I'll probably just let it ride, especially if the leads start coming in. It just depends on how, because he apparently, according to him, he was an acquisition manager at some point. So he could be that for me. I'm just starting him off this way. He wanted to work 40 hours a week. I think you mentioned your guys work like 6, but that's
So they're
call.
calling.
Yeah.
They get burnt
So
out doing 8 hours calling.
I'll be able to see real quick, looking at his text log, how much he's working.
Yeah.
And if he's,
Okay.
I might cut him down to 4 hours a day or 3, I don't know, something, but or just tell him, like you said, like, look, you're gonna have to do more, or I can't have you.
Yeah, I would just watch it, if he's doing a good job for you, you like him. It doesn't take that long to do the buyer stuff. I think it takes my rep. Because her job is to give me 5 buyers a day.
Texting.
Just texting.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, you could probably, dude, you know what? I think I bet you off $250, maybe 500. You can get an investor lift for a couple months, rip all that data. If you got all the buyers in Phoenix, bro, they're all there.
Yeah.
They're all there. The people
It's
you JV
all,
with are
yeah.
using investor lift.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Right now I've got a great guy that's helping, like, on the dispo side. He obviously takes a lot of my money, but uh
Yeah. If we're
but I can
doing nothing, dude.
but I can also, what I like to do, if so, there's a couple ways I do it. I like this guy. He's with One Roof. I don't know if you've heard of them.
What's
Austin
his name?
Zabak.
Who?
Austin Zabak owns the company.
I know Austin Zabak's name.
So
So
they're
many out there.
they're huge here. I think they do Florida and a couple other states. But the guy that I'm working with, he's one of their acquisition reps or managers. He's great. Like, there's deals that I'll send to him. I'm like, dude, I don't know about this one. Like, what do you think? And like you said, he's got
Yeah.
investor lift. He's got data, because they track all their acquisition or disposition stuff. He can tell me, look, buyers are paying on average 60% for this, whatever.
Yeah.
So in that case, then I go, okay, cool. I'll go contract it. We'll split it. The other way is I get something under contract. It's just something I know. I say, look, I need this much for it. Can you do it? And he goes, yeah. And I go, look, you're putting this out just exclusively, just you. Nobody else has it. So I'm going to send it to my buyers, my personal buyers, and then you guys can sell it for whatever you can over that.
Yeah.
And they make 15, 10, 5, whatever, and I make what I make.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, ultimately I need to have a dispo department. So that's
You gotta double your money, bro.
yeah.
If you want to, it may not be your thing. I totally get it. I
I
love
don't have
dispo. It's my
time for
thing.
it. I don't have time. I'm trying to build the acquisition side. So I'll spend a day or two on each deal trying to sell it myself. Besides that, and to be fair, it's going, having your own dispo doesn't necessarily double your money, at least not right away. Because these guys got buyers that I don't have, and they have relationships with these guys. They can sell it for more. So there's been a lot of times that 40K deal was a good example. I was planning on making 20 grand or something like that, selling it on my own. I ended up making 40 and they sold it for me. So sometimes they can sell it for more.
Yeah. I totally, yeah, 100%, dude. If you at some point, like, how Jamil does 50 deals, 70 deals a month? It's because he's dispo, bro. It's just
Right.
all the hard work is done by the wholesaler. That's
Right.
very, very difficult to get a deal. It is
Right.
very, very simple to sell it once you have the buyers.
Right.
So, like, that's how they're able to do that volume, because
Yeah.
he's just going here.
Yeah. So that's the end goal, is to be full service, full dispo, and co-wholesale. Like, people bring me their deals. People already bring me their deals, but I don't really
That's
have a huge buyers
fascinating.
list.
Yeah, it may be something in the future that, like, hey, I got time to focus on this, because Jamil says all the time, the dispo teams, the people who focus on dispo make way more money than the people that focus on AQ. They make
Mhm.
way more money, and it's easier. They have less headaches, less over it, because
Yeah.
you're just going to sending emails and texts.
Yep. Yep.
Literally,
Yep.
it's once I heard him say that, I had to hear him say that to be like, Dispo's the real business. Not saying the other one's not the real business. There's time and effort versus like output. You can do way more just moving everyone else's stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just something that just a little seed I'm just throwing at you because I was like you. Act heavy, act heavy. Now we're shifting more into like dispo heavy and just do volume, moving other people's stuff. But we're still struggling. We're still struggling getting the AQ where we want it. Because Vegas, we had to pull out of Vegas. We had to pull if Vegas was performing, dude, I'd be hitting all my goals. But right now we just have one market that's doing very, very well. We need like two, and then do it. Focus more on because what we do, we'll send it out to our buyers list. We got a pretty good buyers list, and if we don't contract it, or we'll get like our highest price, and then we'll send it to the wholesaler like a day or two later, and we'll
That's
compare.
yeah. And then you can tell them, look, I already have an offer here.
Yep.
So I'm not taking less than that. But if you guys can make some money
Exactly.
from this, then good. Yeah. Or honestly, like I need more than this. Let's say you have an offer at 200. I need
Yep.
205, or else why would I sell it? Why would I have you sell it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So out here it's really good. I don't know about Vegas, or you guys are in like Florida and stuff. I imagine Florida's pretty big, but out here there's so many big dispo houses. We got New Western, we got Arumi's, we got One Roof, Keegley. Keegley's main office is here. So these guys understand that they're not the only guy in town. So,
Mhm.
that was what I was doing for a while, was just sending it to all of them and being like, let's see who makes me the most money.
Yeah. Who wants to make who'll do the best deal for me?
Yeah. And now, but I see the value now in having one guy that's on a really good team. They've sold 100% of the deals that I've sent them, it's two, but and they sell them quick.
Yeah, I like that.
The value there for them is they're showing that buyer an off-market property that's not on anybody else's list. Like they're
Mhm.
only going to get it from them. So if you want to negotiate, it's with me, you know. So
Isn't that kind of interesting, bro? Like if you're I think I'll never get it, but dude, you flipped. Do you care if it's on market or off market, as long as you make your money?
no,
There's so many people that care. I don't know what it is, and I've been trying to figure it out, like low key, like what is these people's infatuation with off market? A deal's a deal's a deal's a deal's a deal.
I kind of get the part, excuse me, I kind of get the part where if it's on market, you better have it below list significantly. Unless
Sure, in some markets, yeah.
unless it's brand new to market and you're just like, look, dude, I got it, and I got 30 guys that want it. You want it or not? Then it's, then you're good. But for the I do understand, like, well, I could have done what you did. I got, I could just wait till you,
Ego.
yeah,
It's
maybe,
ego.
yeah.
Oh, that's what
Yeah,
it
and you,
is.
you need
I
to
could have
impress
got it,
me.
but
I
you
need to see a
didn't.
fat discount. Like show me you did some work.
Who cares? Okay, so
Yeah,
it's probably ego is what's
yeah,
happening.
yeah,
Oh my silliness. You gonna
yeah.
let a deal slide? You gonna try to go out my back? I got it, bro.
I
I can sell it to you at this price. Let me
I
make my money.
bought.
You get your flip. Why do you care?
I'm a little different because I bought two deals from a wholesaler from New Western when I first started, and quickly I was like, I don't like this. It's no inspection. It's these bidding wars with the other buyers, especially then when I first started. It was 2020, 21. It was crazy. Wholesale deals, they were like, if you didn't come in like with EMD, you weren't getting it, and you had to be over. Like we had bidding wars with other investors
The
through New
market was
Western.
going like this.
It was insane. And
It
I
was
didn't
like,
quite, because I was brand new, I didn't fully appreciate how crazy that market was and how easy it
yeah,
was to make money.
yeah,
Um,
sure
so,
was.
but I quickly realized, wait a minute, I just got to go get my own deals because I need fatter discounts.
Hmm.
And there's it's incredibly hard to get really steep, deep deals from wholesalers because we're going to try to make as much as we can, and we understand the market. We know what we can sell it for and what the top of the market is and what, what people will pay for it. So yeah, I don't like to buy from wholesalers.
Hmm. Yeah.
If you're gonna buy from wholesalers, then you need to focus all your time on getting your costs down, your time down, your, cheaper money, so on and so forth. And
I was
I
thinking
never did that.
I was thinking about that for myself because I miss flipping. It's wholesaling. Um, you get satisfaction from it transactionally. The flip much more. You know how it is when you flip a house, man.
Yeah.
You got a sense of pride.
Yep.
You drive past that house. I flipped that. There's a family in it.
Yep.
That whole thing. I was like, how can I flip? I don't want to make these 20. Because I hear they'll do a deal for 20K. Like
Hmm.
what your people will do for 30K. They'll do
Yep.
it for like 20, bro.
Yep.
And I'm like, I ain't doing that.
No.
But what if I learned? I'm trying to talk myself into like, what if I just learned a skill set and that I normally would pay out? Like, what if I did bathrooms? What if
Mm,
I, what if I, get my own crew and just pay them? If trying to cut construction costs down to make it
yeah.
work for you. I got a
Yeah.
buddy that flips his whole house by himself. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
I don't have
I,
that skill set, but
I don't
but
like
I
that.
get it.
Even if you know how to do it, I don't like it. Like I know how to do most of the stuff that my guys do on the flips.
Really?
Yeah, I have a construction background, and I was broke for a long time, so I did a lot of DIY stuff around the house. But it's a waste of time. It doesn't make you enough money. The return on your time, like your time, is much more
To go get some
valuable.
deals.
Right. Yeah. In the time it takes you to flip a house, you could have made $100,000 in wholesale.
Right.
So it doesn't work. So where we're at is if we flip house, if we take on another flip, I'm not going to use a general contractor. I'm just going to sub it out. I'm already managing with our general contractors. We were already babysitting these guys. They
Yeah.
weren't doing what they were supposed to do. They were messing things up. They're too expensive. I'm already at the project 3 times a week, so I might as well just manage the subs. And we know enough to do it. It still takes some time, but it's time that I already would have spent babysitting the contractor that's charging me 30% on top.
I was going
So
to ask you, what are you saving?
unless you get to super like ultra luxury, you know, 3 million and up, maybe 2 million and up, kind of on the line, but for sure 3 to 5 to 10, is craziness. Um, then it makes sense to hire a really good general contractor, and he's going to be expensive, but that's okay because you should have, in a 3 million deal, you should have a 500K spread minimum, maybe even a million, and you're going to make, 300, 400,000, whatever. Um, and just let that guy, he should be an absolute monster pro and just, do things that your subs can't do.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Everything's like
Yeah. Yeah.
phenomenal quality and
Yeah.
workmanship.
But out here for like our sweet spot is like 700-800,000 purchase, 1.2 to 1.3 ARV. In those cases, you can use it for us, we can use our subs. We don't need a fancy high dollar general contractor.
Those numbers definitely, I'd be like, bro, I'm not comfortable with these numbers. What's your hard money? 5K a month
Oh, 10.
per house?
Yep. Yeah, I mean it starts out lower, like 6, 7, because you don't have, like if you have a $250,000 rental budget, you start out with zero of that budget on the interest or on the principal. And then as you get done with the, like towards the end of the project, when all that money's out and being borrowed, it's 10K a month. It's at least. When the last one we did, it was exactly that. It was $806,000 purchase, $240,000 rehab, 1.33 ARV, 55,000 just in hard money.
But those
Oh,
spreads sound amazing. Buy it for 7 and you're exiting at 1.2.
mhm.
500 in the deal.
Yeah, and
You're
that's
probably gonna walk away with a buck 120, 130 if you're splitting it with
yeah,
somebody. By yourself, 200,000.
yeah. That deal I'm talking about, I split $145,000 with Fernando. You know Fernando,
Fernando,
Brazilian guy. I know you've met him.
Brazilian guy.
Yeah, from
Ring a
Connecticut.
bell.
He lives in Arizona now. Real good dude. But yeah, he came with the money.
Oh, yeah. He
Yeah.
was in Wealthy, right?
Yep. Yep.
Love that guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah,
Penthouse with that guy.
yeah,
1 o'clock
yeah.
in the morning.
That's
You were
where I met
there?
him. That's where I met him. Danielle was actually the one who met him. I was outside talking with the Boakley brothers and Chris Vasquez. And I come back in and this Brazilian dude's talking to my wife. I'm like, "What's up, dude?" And then it turns out he's like the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100.
And
Yeah,
he's had a very successful contracting business in Connecticut.
mm,
So he moved out here. We kind of got together, and then we did that flip together. He brought in the 260K in cash that we needed to get the deal done, the gap fund. So I
you
just
guys,
split it,
you guys split what, 200?
140 something.
140 each?
No, split 140, so it was like 70 some thousand each.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that'll
It's
work.
a little better than a 10% of the ARV. 133 was ARV. We made 140. We were hoping to kind of knock that one out of the park, but we listed it for 1.38. So we were looking at like 200 grand almost to split.
Do you
But
think in a normal market you probably would have got it? Do you think the rate and all that kind of stuff played it?
there was also some issues with the contractor that we had as far as the quality. We got called out on a lot of stuff that he did kind of half-assed.
Oh,
You can get away with a lot of half-assery in that 1.3 range out here.
wow.
Like it's not as luxury as you would think. It's LVP, it's Chinese cheap cabinets, you know.
Home Depot
Yeah,
quality?
yeah. It's
No
nothing
way.
crazy. Yeah.
Oh, so you got, I didn't know that. All right, now I know. You gotta spend
You
like
gotta
two,
get
three
up into
mil.
3 to 5 mil before you start getting custom cabinets and like fancy stuff. Even the $5 million house that we just walked, I was telling you about, it was a spec build, 7,000 square feet. It was nice, but it's still kind of cheap. Some of the cabinets were cheap, and then but they went all out on the stuff that counts. They did the like resort style backyard with a big old pool and jacuzzi, like big pergola and everything. Um, Sound system all the way inside and out. What's the super high end fridge that's like
Viking.
not Viking.
Oh,
I think it's even higher than that. I have to ask Danielle, she knows. But it's the one that looks like the built-in cabinet.
mm-hmm.
It's like, and then the butler's pantry and all this. They had like a dog wash station in the entryway. But yeah, it's upgraded from, so you have large tile floors, like planks, big planks,
Yeah.
versus LVP. You won't get away with LVP in that, I don't believe. Not
Mm.
at that price point. Those buyers are a little more discerning, but it's it's up to about 2 million. You can get away with a lot. Like the same stuff that you have in your $400,000 flip is in my $1.3 million flip. It's just bigger and the location is better.
No way. Dude, this is awesome. It's almost like a podcast, dude.
Yeah,
No
kind of.
way.
Are you streaming this?
Yeah, I'm recording this.
Well, you're recording it, but you're not like live streaming it.
No, not live. No, no. I need to be way better at that because we got some nuggets getting dropped on the regular.
Yeah,
So
we should record this, like do it once a week. I know normally there's more people here, but just do it once a week. Maybe even we just do it just one call, just you and I, and just chop it up and then chop that up into reels and stuff.
yeah, yeah. Gotta actually get my daughter. She's going to training to how to chop up videos and put all the stuff on it and make them go viral. That's what she's learning.
Yeah, I got to get back into to doing my videos. I still record myself talking to the agents. I never post anymore. I just got out of it.
But yeah, there's just databases of just content
Mhm.
just chilling and
Yep.
not being used.
Maybe that'll be a
Dude,
VA thing. I got to find a VA that can just cut these things up real good. That's a good idea.
I'll
I've proven myself not to be consistent with that over and over.
here, use this. Check this one out. Try it out. I think you'll be impressed with what it can do without AI is getting good at taking like a long thing you do and making 20 or 30 reels with words and
Really?
B-roll. Yeah, for dirt cheap, dude. Dirt cheap.
Put this in my notes. I have a note in my phone, like an ongoing note from our calls. I just take notes.
Nice.
Like, look, I have Ron Woods call notes. I don't know if you
I
can
get
see
my
it.
own section in the phone.
Yeah,
Let's
I don't know
go.
if you can see it.
I
There's like
can't blur it out because of the background, but
it says, real estate wealth network. It's just stuff that you said. Who took my keys?
yeah.
That was Roham. Riva,
Mm,
assistant Facebook group. I have Egyptians, so I'm looking for an Egyptian to do calls
got
for me.
two. They're
Yeah.
phenomenal,
The,
bro.
the Filipino guy that I have right now, he's actually his English is really good and his accent's not very strong.
Every once in a while, you hear like a word, you're like, that was a little rough, but everything else is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Long as
So
the agent doesn't pick up on this, you're a freaking VA. Get out of here. That's where you're screwed, right? You know?
so I had the agent that I'm working with, one of the agents I'm working with right now. He I was texting him trying to get him on a call. He wouldn't respond. Then finally he responds. He's like, is this even Mike Cordova or are you in the Philippines? So I called him right away and I was like, hey, this is Mike Cordova. I'm in Arizona. I'm not in the Philippines. But why would that matter? Like, just talk to me. I'm typing out clear English messages. I'm asking you sincere questions. Who cares if I'm in the Philippines? Because if I'm in the Philippines, I'm working for a dude that's probably in Arizona. Like, who cares? So this Opus, uh, is it free or you have to pay for that?
It's like dirt cheap.
Okay.
I stopped using it because I had another CapCut start doing it, and I'm paying for CapCut. But Opus is what Pineda was using and his team. You got dude, it's pretty freaking. You could throw like a 40-minute session on there, and it'll pick out 20 of the best reels. You'll have to go in and like mess with. Back then, you had to go in and like tweak it a little bit. Um, so it's probably gotten better. I probably haven't used it 6 months, but that one's dope. Opus
So
is
what are
pretty
you doing
good.
now? Do you have somebody, are you have an employee in charge of that? In charge of social?
No, I'm everything's turned off. I don't have anything turned. I just have a database like you. Now we're gonna go through and teach my daughter pretty much to do it because we're sitting on, bro. I might be sitting on 40 hours of content chilling, and it's
Same.
just ridiculous that it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
If I know that if I leave it to me to get it done, it'll get done for like a week, and it'll take me like forever to do it. I'll get annoyed. Someone
Yep.
needs to do it, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Let me just create. If I get to the point to where I can legit hire like I can't let me get to the point where I can just hire a team to do it all, bro. It's over.
Yeah.
Like it's over.
Yeah.
But
Like I
it's
think,
preventing me from doing stuff, so I need to do it. Yeah.
Trevor, buyer beater, he's got a guy that follows him with a camera all day long and they edit all that stuff. Like, I
So
don't know, where
good.
do you have to be to do that? I don't know how expensive is that? Your camera guy's got to make 70
40,
grand.
50K. Maybe, yeah, like you said, maybe even
Yeah.
more. That's just one person.
Yeah.
What
I mean,
about
especially if he's
you
gonna, and then he's
two?
gonna follow you around all the time. You go to, let's say I go to WealthCon, I got to fly this cat out there with me,
Yeah.
buy him dinner, get him a hotel room. So I don't know. And then I'm gonna get tired of him. You know what I mean? I'll be like, dude, get away from me. Get that camera out of my face. But it's good. So, and that's something I thought about today too, is like that you asked me a question earlier, like, what are you gonna do now that you have, BA and Danielle's doing this? Ultimately, both of our goals should be just do, or at least spend a lot of time doing social media, podcasts, create your own podcast, go on other people's podcasts. Like that's where you're going to get deals, you're going to get private money, you're going to get employees. So that's something I'm thinking about for the future, is getting myself in a position where I can spend the time on that kind of stuff and the money to get the crew and all that stuff. I think
I was
it's
going
you.
to
I think
ask
you
you.
have to do it. I think you have to look at
You'll be left
everybody
behind if you
that's
don't.
really successful. Pace Morby, Jamil Damji, Ryan Pineda, um, the list goes on. I mean, Grant Cardone, you know, all these guys have a social media team and they pay them a lot of money, I'm sure. I don't know. I have no idea what Pineda spends or, Pace Morby, but I bet it's a lot.
A lot. A
Hundreds of
lot, a lot.
thousands. Yeah.
Ah, man, I want to I noticed that I got a little guy chilling in my nose. Oh, nose hair, that's what that was. Um, I wanted to since I had you here, man, maybe just fire some questions at you, kind of act like this was kind of a podcast, and
Yeah.
I want to do more just general entrepreneur stuff. I'm just hit you with some stuff and kind of see where it goes, if you don't mind.
Yeah. But
Okay. I thought about this last week. I'm like, if I get Cordova on again, I'm just gonna just go. So first half of the podcast, we're just talking about just wholesale stuff. Second half of the podcast, maybe like 10, 15 minutes, entrepreneur stuff. Cause I want two separate kind of channels I got going on. Nothing but wholesale, niche, and then I get to have fun and talk about
general
general
business.
wholesale
Yeah.
because that's where so all right, what why are you not working a job? Why entrepreneurship? Why, what happened to make you want to get into entrepreneurship and think you can even do it?
I can't survive in a W-2 environment.
Why not?
It was
What's wrong with it?
crushing my soul. I did it for all my life. I mean, I was W-2. I mean, I was under the table when I was like 12, 15. I was talking to my daughter the other day. I was 15 years old. I was building those, the giant tilt-up warehouses, pouring concrete, lifting the walls and all that. Like I was on a construction site at 15, driving a
Wow.
water truck. Um, and then got into car sales. And what's funny is that the thing that I love about being an entrepreneur was what kind of drove me away from the sales business, the insecurity, not knowing when you're going to get paid next or how much it's going to be. I got talked out of that by friends and family. Like, that's not safe. You can't do this forever. You got to go get a regular job. You got to get a retirement, a pension. And so that's what I did. And so the sphere of influence that I had around me, the kind of upper echelon of, my example of what to be was cop, firefighter, project manager for construction. These were the guys that had the boats and the cars and the houses. But you slowly or quickly realize, I guess, well, for me, it was slow. Like it took me from 20 something, 22 to 35 to figure out that a lot of these people are living paycheck to paycheck, even though they make 150, $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
The problem is thinking that 200 grand a year is a lot of money,
Yeah.
especially for what you have to give up for it with the W-2. For me, it was at least 2 hours in traffic, plus an 8 to 10 hour shift Saturdays, literally killing myself, like in bad situations, breathing concrete and asphalt and all these things. For what? For 100 grand a year? So I could barely get by, you know what I mean? And maybe take a couple weekend vacations. There's that. And then there's just, I'm not a good employee.
Why not?
I'm not, because I don't follow rules well. I don't like to be told what to do, where to show up, when to be there. I made it work, and for my whole working W-2 life, I thought I was a lazy person because I could tell that I disliked the job more than everybody else that was there. They all
Mm,
seemed to kind of accept it. They were good with
yeah,
it. They actually felt good because they were safe.
yeah.
They had money every week. They had a budget they could plan, and if they saved up enough, they could go to Hawaii once a year. Uh, I I I, I was horrible at it. I hated it, and so eventually, I got around some guys. A really good buddy of mine that I still hang out with today. Um, he's an entrepreneur. He makes a lot more money than I do. He's got, when I was W-2, well, he still makes more money than I do now, but uh, he had time freedom, and his lifestyle just seemed cooler than mine, not to mention the money. Um, and I'm looking at him and a couple other guys that I started hanging out with in his friend group, and I'm having conversations with these guys at their level, going, these guys aren't special. They're special in the sense that they're like me. They can't do the W-2. So yeah, I guess it's a long way to say the reason I'm an entrepreneur and not W-2 is because I can't do the W-2. I just can't. It crushes my soul.
I felt every word you say in my bones because I
That's
know it, and I wanted to ask you, like, so dude, you got trained in that society. Society trains you to be the
Mhm.
W-2,
Yep.
to go to school and all that stuff. But it's just with school, like it didn't work for you. It didn't, like you
Oh,
said, most people at work, you're sitting around here like, how are you guys sitting here
yeah, yeah.
cool
Like, you guys are all
with
good with
this? I
this?
hate it. Like,
Yeah.
what
Shouldn't
are
we
you guys?
leave? Shouldn't we go get more? Yeah.
They're like, no, because you also said something where 100K, you said it like it was nothing. Did you grow up with the money?
No, no,
So where did you get 100K? Is not a lot of
so
money.
that's okay. So that's perfect. That's a great question. Um, I've thought about finances and like leveling up my financial game since I started working, since I was 18. When I was selling cars, I was 18, 19 years old. I had no bills, and I just wanted to hang out with my buddies and maybe get an apartment. So I do something, you can ask my wife about it. It's called shower math. So when you get in the shower and you're sitting there thinking and it starts to fog up the glass, I start calculating numbers in the steam. And I've been doing that since I was a teenager. And the first time that I set a financial goal for myself, it was $3,000 a month gross. That seemed like a lot of money to me because I was
Yeah,
making
back then.
1,500.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, 3 grand a month. I don't even know if I thought to take out taxes and figure out what my net was.
Right.
I I said, okay, 3 grand a month, 900 on an apartment, car payments, a couple $100, insurance, cell phone, beer. I'm all set. And then some money left over for save for a rainy day, a couple $100 a month. And my first lesson, and I should have learned more from it, but my first lesson was when I hit $3,000 a month. I got to that goal and I went, uh-oh, that's not enough. So then it was like, okay, look around. And this is another good example of like your environment forming you. I looked around and I was like, okay, let's look at the disc. This guy's making 3K a month. Okay, no, we both
Mm.
suck. Okay, this guy, he makes 60 grand a year. That's 5K a month. And he's got a bitchin' truck. you know, and his apartment's nicer than mine. Okay, that's what it is. 60K a year, 5 grand a month. Hit that goal. Shit, not enough. Then it was, and I hit those two goals quickly in my early 20s. Then it became 100K. That was the holy grail for me. It really was like 120. It was 10K a month is what I wanted to make. That took me a long time. I finally did it in 2019 was what it was. So what, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever it was. And then same thing. It's not enough. It seemed like a lot, but then you get there and your lifestyle the whole way, you go 30,000, 40, 50, 75, 90, 110. Your lifestyle goes from the apartment, the buddies, the beer, to 2 cars, a house payment, kid, second kid,
Yeah.
toys, second house, vacations, sports for your kids, like all these things,
Karate.
trying to save. And then so your lifestyle creeps up almost as fast, or maybe sometimes faster than your in,
Income.
and inflation doesn't help. So by the time I hit the 100K wasn't what 100K was when I was started aiming at it. When I was a kid, I can distinctly remember my mom saying, somebody asked her, like, well, what are you getting paid for your job? And she was like, 30K a month, or a year. And I was like, damn, that's so much money. Like that seemed like a lot. And it
Back when
was,
we were kids, right?
that was the equivalent of like 75K now, something like that.
Probably.
So
Yeah.
it was a decent living. But then you start thinking about, okay, retirement, what's that going to look like? Well, I had a pension with the union when I was in construction, which would have, if I would have worked 30 years with them or until I was 65, it would have been like 4 or 5 grand a month forever, plus insurance and all that. But what the hell am I supposed to do with 5 grand a month?
That's
It's not a
gone.
lot of money. And the problem is thinking that it's a lot of money. So,
Mm,
and unintentionally setting your financial thermostat too low.
mm. That
So
was one of the
now,
awesome answers I've heard.
now
I did
I'm
not
now
expect that.
now I'm looking at, well, so my goal for this year was try to hit 40, 50 a month, try to get at least a few months of 30K or something like that, but average 30K a month for the year. That'd be great. That's what, 360 grand by myself. That's good. I constantly remind myself to not let that be like the end all be all, not, because there's a ton of people making way more than that. $1 million a year net is not unheard of. It's a lot of money. There's not a ton of people doing that, but there's probably more than you think.
Ooh, let me look it up.
Yeah.
I was looking at this number. How many millionaires are made each day? It's like 2,000 or something like that.
Well, Google how many people, what percentage of the
1,700.
population?
I mean,
1,700.
what?
Well, I'm curious on what's the percentage of the population that makes over $1 million annually?
Okay, let's look at that too. So this first one is there are over seven. How many millionaires are made every day? To me, if you were to ask me, I'd be like, I don't know, 10,
Uh, I don't even
20,
know.
almost
Too much.
2,000 millionaires a day. You can't be one of them, bro.
Yeah,
17,
well,
2,000
the
a
tricky part,
day.
the tricky thing with that is they're talking net worth, right?
I would assume it would have to be network.
So I know a ton of guys that make, 150 grand a year their whole life, and they have $3 million, $4 million in an IRA somewhere or a 401k. So they're technically millionaires, but it's not it's not what I thought. When I thought of a millionaire growing up, and even until pretty recently, to me, that's like yachts and Lamborghinis, but not necessarily. Like if you're worth $4 million when you retire, what they call it the 4% rule. So if you have that in stocks or whatever, you should live safely off of 4%. So let's say you made it all the way to $5 million net worth, 4%. You live off of 200K a year. You're never touching that $4 million, $5 million. It's got to stay there because it's got to be there to pay you.
Yeah.
So it's not yachts. It's not popping bottles. You know what I mean?
I got another question to follow up with that one later on here, but to answer your question, I think you asked what percentage of the population are millionaires?
No, make $1 million annually.
Oh, what percentage of people in America make 1 million a year? We're talking about Americans, right? Oh man, you want to take a guess?
Is it super low?
It's a lot lower than I thought. I didn't think it was that low.
Well, they call it like the 1%, right? So it's got to be around there.
It's 0.11%. 'One%? Or is that
0.1%?
10? It says 0.1%.
That's no,
I think they're trying to say
0.1% is 0.1%. So not even, it's a tenth of
it,
1%.
that's okay. That's okay. So I was like, are they trying to say 10? But no. 0.1% of earners
Well, and think about
make
that.
that a year. Oh
If
man.
if you're making $1 million a year personally, so like if your business does $2 million a year, you're not going to take home 1 million. That'd be stupid.
You're crazy.
Yeah, you keep it in the business, you throw it into real estate, whatever. So I don't know, but 40, and I hate saying these things, but 40,000 dollars a month to me would be great
Why do you hate it?
because I'm so scared of setting the bar too low again.
Oh, you're set. You don't want to anchor yourself too low.
Right. But I also want to be realistic. So like when I set a goal for the year, like this year, when at the beginning of the year, I had $0 made. There was no proof of concept really for the wholesale business, except for what I've seen. I've seen you and other wholesalers. I know what's possible. Um, I kind of worked out 20K a month. That's 2 deals a month at 10K. So that was my initial, like, if I did that, it'd be good. And I'd love to make 3 or 400,000. I have a solid shot at making at least three.
Yeah.
Because I've made 100. I just did this math the other day. I've made 100, about 100 grand in the 2 months of the third quarter.
So going back, you said at the beginning of the year, you didn't have you weren't making any. You said $0. Is that what you said? You had made no money.
Yeah.
What gave you like the faith that it was going to work? You hadn't done it before, or have you?
No, not no. I've never made $20,000 a month personally,
Okay,
especially
so
not.
this was something big.
Yeah, Danielle and I were making about $20,000 a month combined with our jobs. A little less, probably like 16, 17. So it's
This is
not
a
like
lot.
I knew it wasn't untouchable. I knew that it's not a ton of money, but I thought it would be reasonable just based on working the math backwards. 2 deals a month at least, 10K average assignment.
Okay, so
And I believed that I could do that because I have a sales background. I have the knowledge. I knew that. I just needed to focus on it. And I wasn't when we were flipping. Because I was trying to get those big rips, those 200,
yeah.
100,000, and that's great, but it's silly if it's your only income.
In a way, I almost call it the pandemic. In a way, I would call it the crash of 22. No one's calling it that. It was a crash,
It,
bro.
it sure felt like a crash to me.
The rate went from 4 to 8, which means I was making a crap ton of money, no matter if I did a good job or bad job, to like, I gotta work 3 times as hard to make half of what I was making,
Yep.
kind of stuff. I forget where I was going with that, but hopefully I get it back. But
The crash of 22.
yeah, but I forget what my point was. Jeez, what a good host
Oh,
I am all the time.
good.
I felt the pain. I started getting traumatized. Ah!
Yeah, yeah. That was from 20 from April of 22 or May of 22, right about there, till halfway through this year. We suffered. Like we paid for those mistakes. We're still paying for it, like credit card debt,
Yeah,
private money that needs to be paid off. Like these are
yep,
guaranteed debts. You know what I mean?
yeah,
These were partnerships. These were here's 40 grand, pay me this interest, but you're guaranteeing that it comes back, right? Yep. So we probably have $100,000 in private money that needs to go back, and
yeah,
just chunking away at that. Plus, we got all the credit cards racked up from having to live off of them, and we used them. We like went all in because we ran out of cash for these some of these flips. I didn't want to take more private money because I wasn't sure that I could pay back the private money that I had. So we just said, okay, look, we'll use our credit cards, whatever. Just get those projects done. Because if we lose the project, we lose all the money that we sunk into them,
exactly.
all the private money, all our money.
You need to sell the
So
property for
our
what you can. Yeah.
yeah, our at least get some capital back. Our we had 300,000 in home equity, sold the house,
Oh,
lived on that,
oh,
used it for flips. That's all gone. Now we got, 100 and something in credit card, 100 and something in private. The credit cards are expensive. It's like $5,000, nah, probably three to $5,000 a month just in interest.
what what would happen if you walked away from the credit card debt? Just I ain't paying it, and just my credit's gonna be screwed. But we're gonna
We
use
yeah,
this cash for something. What would
we
happen?
we heavily considered at one point filing BK on the credit card debt, and
And you
just
did it because people have done that and come back in like a year or two, and you can have normal credit and like if you do things right way
yeah,
in a year or two.
yeah.
What's the down like? What's the downside of doing that? Because I got some debt too. I'm paying it off. It's not as much as you, but it's a lot for me. Probably like 50. I got like 50 left. Same kind of situations. And I'm just like, what would happen if I would just, I mean, just credit card debt.
Well, you already own a home. You already own a couple homes, right? Like
Yeah,
home, rental
I don't need
home.
to buy a house in the next year or two. Like, I got my car,
Um,
I just paid my car off.
for me, I think it's a pride and integrity thing.
That's what I kind of,
I
well,
just want I
okay.
want I took that credit, even though it's just some nameless corporation, Amex and
Right.
Mastercard.
It's not a person. That's different. Like a private
Yeah,
person,
definitely
I
wouldn't
get you.
file B. Yeah, definitely wouldn't file BK on a person. But
But like a living home. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah, well, yeah. And if you think about it,
Discover, Visa.
I probably should have gone bad on Kiavi. I cut a check to close one of our flips for 80K. I brought
Woo! They're probably like,
80K.
this never happens.
They're like, no way, he did it. Yeah, I should have just walked away. But so a couple things. The probably number one, integrity, do the right thing. You did this, you took that money, pay it back. The other thing was we had more than one flip going and they were all under Kiavi. So you go bad on one, they freeze up the funding for the other ones and they won't let you close.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
but, but in hindsight, we should have just gone bad on all of them. There was like three of them.
It's like part of it's like part of business. Like
Yeah,
business get bankrupt. Donald Trump does it.
yeah,
It's like not
yeah.
you're a bad person. It's
What
business. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
what you said is exactly right. I guarantee you when that closing happened and they saw that I paid $80,000 to close it, they probably had like an office party. They were like, holy shit, I can't believe this guy
Wow.
actually paid that.
Yeah. No one ever does that.
Yeah. So I definitely should have just let that go because that would have been 80K back in my pocket.
And
And
you could have reloaded it to like do you know fund
Well,
something
and then,
else to make
but
money.
the other thing is too, is that, and I didn't think about this because I never really thought about not paying them back. It crossed my mind, what if I can't? Because I almost couldn't come up with the 80K. It's funny, like I was sitting there like you're an entrepreneur, so you've had this moment where you're just like sitting at the coffee table, head in
Hmm.
hand, like
Yeah.
what am I gonna do? I
Yeah.
don't I
Oh,
don't have the money.
yeah.
And right as I'm doing that, head in hand, like almost crying, no joke. Uh, and I get an alert on my phone. It's from Citibank, who I have some credit cards with. They go, "Hey, do you want a loan for $30,000?" And I was like,
Was-
"Yeah, I do. I really could use $30,000 right now." So I took that and some more private money and paid that 80K. I made it happen. Um, I feel like that's important though. That only strengthened me. I made it happen. I got through it. I'm not through it yet, but I will.
That's what my point was. The crash of 2022, in a way, I hated it, but it made me stronger. What happened to you made you stronger from what I believe an assignment down the road. You needed that to happen to get through what's about to happen successfully. Because all these are tests and trials and all this stuff. Are you a man of faith? You a man of God at all?
Not heavily. I'm not sure what I believe, but with what I've been through, it's hard not to believe. How many times through, I mean, through our whole life, not just our entrepreneurial life, just Danielle and I, we've been together since 2006, late 2006. Um, the stuff that we've been through and made it through, and how many times we've made it through right at the last minute. Like the
Yeah.
thing that needed to happen happened right when it needed to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if I call that God or the universe or whatever it is, but there's a thing, 100%. There's a force out there.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, yeah, man. It's I believe I I believe that stuff had to happen for something later on. So
Well, it
as much as
happened.
we're crying now, we'll
Yeah.
be
Here's where the what I've heard it said this way: reality on reality's terms. It's not was it good or was it bad? It just is.
it just is.
So you might as well try to take some good out of it. Don't just because the worst person to be around is the guy that sits and dwells on the past. The guy that's like, man, if I hadn't have broke my knee in high school, I would have been a professional football player. It's like, okay, but you did break
Uncle
your knee.
Rico.
Now get your ass to work. Figure something else out. But yeah, if you just keep pushing forward, I'm pretty, we're proof of that. Just push forward.
Keep going. Don't
Just,
stop.
just yeah. And what's funny is that, I have family and friends that are just W-2, plain, normal life. Like they're successful, they're happy, they make good money, they have nice houses, blah, blah, blah. But when you hear their problems, you're like,
Shut the F up.
yeah, come on, dude. And then when you tell them your problems, I need 80K to close this deal, they freak out. They're like, I don't know how you do it. And it's like, you just do it. Just what are you gonna do? Lay down and die?
This actually brings up a question. I got two more questions for you. Can you hang out with normal people, W2 people,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot, a lot?
yeah, yeah. I've done it my whole life. My whole family's like regular people. But what's crazy is that a lot of family and friends are at least dabbling in entrepreneurship now. Now that
Nowadays. You
I'm not, I'm not,
you have to, right?
I'm not, well, yeah, there's
Look at the
that.
bills, look at
No, I'm
inflation.
not saying it's because I'm doing it, but I know that I took inspiration from an entrepreneur. I was like, yeah, I want to do that. Like, that seems like the way to go. You find out that a lot of them, they go, I want to be an entrepreneur. And then they get halfway into it. And they're like, I don't know if I want this. But, and then getting started is really hard for a lot of people. Not for me. I couldn't wait. Um, and if everybody was like us, there'd be nobody working at McDonald's, driving your Uber at the airport, So not we are special. It's a bad thing in the W-2 world. I could speak for myself. My mindset and how I just kind of am built is not good for the W-2 world. But to answer your question, yes, I can hang out with those folks. I tend to get into arguments with them.
What are you arguing about? Mostly.
Uh, a lot of it's um, their view on rich people, business owners.
The hypnotism, the training that the
What
world's done on that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
when
know
I
what you're talking
see
about.
when we see when you if I hear somebody look at an entrepreneur who's doing really well and they go, "Oh yeah, he's probably got daddy's money, blah 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 blah."
Right,
Maybe,
right.
maybe, but most of them no. Most of them don't. Most of
Most
them
of
just
them know.
work their ass off,
Providing value for people.
and they're kind of
Hello.
damaged. Like I would speak for you. I'm sure you feel the same way. Like there's a little bit of damage in there. Like we have a chip on our shoulder. I do.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got some folks.
Not being accepted in life,
Yeah.
things that people have said to us that have been like, you're not nothing, or you'll never amount, or you can't do it. Um, yeah, all that kind of stuff. You're like, what?
And
What'd
then
you
and
say?
then not well, and then the guy that talks the most shit to me is me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm my worst critic. Like, oh, I'm intentionally now sitting back and looking at like, what I've done this year. Is it astronomical? Did I make $1 million? No. Pretty damn good though. Like I've it take a lot of pride in my assignment fees, this value that I plucked out of the sky and I put in my bank account. I did that. Without me, that doesn't happen. So there's that too. You know what I mean? There's just I have to sit back and go, hey, you're doing pretty good. Now get to
Yeah.
work. Now get back to work. The floggings will continue.
You're not I have a problem with rewarding myself for the wins because I'm the same way. I'm just really, really hard on myself and I expect a lot, but it's danger. It could be a dangerous spot when you don't celebrate.
Yeah, but it's also a tool.
What do you mean by tool?
It's a tool in the sense that drive, it's drive is what it is. I think ultimately.
Not not rewarding your not going, you killed it. Get to
Yeah,
work. Like
yeah,
there's
because the
always
guy,
the get to work.
yeah, the guy that, well, and then there's a certain level of fear, like especially for me, because I'm still really new to the wholesale world, like full-time wholesale, trying to start a business. I'm afraid it's going to go away tomorrow. I feel like all 13 of those deals will be flukes. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's not going to happen
Oh,
again.
you got to fight those.
Yeah,
That's the fight that you got to fight down.
yeah,
Because I've been doing this for since 2016, and I have moments where that's the case. Beginning of this year, I'm like you, like this. We just canceled 8 deals, 9 deals.
yep, all that money.
I need 10, 20, I need 10, 15K in my bank account this month. Where you at?
And the more you go through that, the more you're able to sit back, take a breath, and just control the only thing that you can control, which is you showing up every day and doing what you need to do. And when you don't, that's where the toughness on myself comes. If I turn the computer off and go and leave the office at the end of the day, because I do have to go hang out with the family, eat dinner, bathe the kids, read
Yeah, for a
stories.
couple hours, right? Just a couple hours. You got
Yeah,
daddy for 2 hours, and if you don't need me, I'm going back.
yeah, but when I do that, when I do leave the office and I know I left a little bit on the table, I didn't hit the KPIs I wanted. That's when I'm the toughest on myself. I'm like, I feel like a failure, you know.
That's good. Those days don't exist. Those days don't exist. There's not a day, but I didn't get done what had to get done, the minimum. Though that I, I'm glad you said that because I think that everyone does it. And I'm not on a high horse or anything like that because there are some days where it's not on me anymore. It's on my team to make these offers.
Right,
And sometimes they don't get it done.
right.
So it's my job to get back in their ass and be like, yo, like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and if you're in somebody's ass telling them that they need to hit their KPIs every day, you better be hitting your KPIs every day, setting that example. So
Very true.
yeah, but I don't know. I feel like so like the comparison between the W-2 folks and us or the entrepreneurs, um, they seem to be satisfied with less, which might like have you ever heard the Mexican fisherman story, whatever, the Spanish fisherman?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
There's some of
So you can
that.
do that? Yeah.
Yeah. Where I land on that, there's a third version of that story where yeah, you're right. So we could just kind of hang out and live a very simple life and not make a lot of money, not work too much. But there's also a life where if I'm gonna do the work, then it better be worth it. I don't like when I quit my job, the decision there was I had enough faith in myself that I could make what I was making at that job and I would be happier. And my ultimate deciding point was like, okay, worst case scenario, you quit your job, you go start this business, and you just make what you were making. You don't improve income wise, but the lifestyle's better. So that's good. And I mean, now I know I could make 100 grand and work a couple hours a day. Like I feel like at this point, with how much work I've put into building the database of agents, I could stop uh progressing.
Lead gen. Lead gen.
Yeah, and just kind of sit back on these handful of agents
And
and make 100 grand a year if I wanted to. But
nurture those relationships. You could. Yeah.
yeah, but I want to go. So you either have to, in my mind, I either have to go all the way to barely working but making enough money, or work my ass off, but now I better get paid because I am putting the time in. I'm sacrificing the time with the family and all that stuff. So it's got to be worth it.
This is a perfect leeway into the question that I ask myself and I ask other entrepreneurs the most. And I love the responses. When you think of the word rich, like I want to be rich, I'm rich. How much money exactly
A dollar
is
amount?
rich? Yeah, for to you, because it's different for everybody. When I was in the military making 500 bucks every 2 weeks, 50 grand was rich. When I was making 30K,
Yeah.
$100,000 to me at that time was rich.
Yep.
You triple what if I made 100 grand, I'm rich. Those people
Yep.
are rich to me.
Yep. And so it changes, and
Yeah.
it should change. So I've kind of gotten to the point where I've wrestled with that, what I've talked about, like setting that goal and then hitting it and realizing that it's not enough. That's good. It's okay. Set that next goal so that's something that's attainable in the near future. It doesn't have to be, you can think 10 years from now, yeah, I'd like to be rich. I'd like to be worth north of $10 million. I'd say that's rich, right? I'd say that's, by any standard, that's rich. It's not like what a lot of people think it is. I don't think it's not, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. That's rich. That's rich, rich. Uh, but north of 10 million, You're rich.
Okay. 10
And
million rich. So 9 million, you're not rich.
you're pretty rich. But yeah, I would want to hit the 10 though.
Yeah, what's that minimum? What's that? Because I'm like, I can keep doing this. 8 million, you're not rich.
You got to set a,
7
you have to
million, you're
set a
not
limit.
rich.
So you got to draw
What's
the
like
line
you're
somewhere.
not rich. You're rich once you hit this.
10.
Because in my state, 1%, like if you make $400,000, you're 1%, bro.
Yeah.
In Nevada.
I
At
think
400K.
you're 1%, Nate, like worldwide at 400K. That's statistically speaking.
So
But
are those people who make 400, are they not rich? And I'm doing this because I'm curious to like of where it starts with people, like, and having this conversation, because I'm like, because that's what
yeah,
happened to me. What's rich, Ron? 5 million. Okay, so 4 million. 5 million is rich. Okay, so 4 million
so 4
is
million.
not. Yeah, it's still rich.
Yeah.
All right, where to start? Where to start? It's kind of silly,
And
but it's fun to
so
me.
no, and it's a great question, it goes into your psychology
Yeah,
or your standard.
relationship with money. Yeah,
Yeah, because Jeff Bezos, you tell him you're worth $10
die.
million,
He killed
he goes,
himself.
$10 million, how the hell you survive? Uh, so I guess that's a personal thing then. So 10, yeah, I'm gonna call it 10. 10 is like I'm rich. And I hope that if and when I hit $10 million net worth and I'm rich, that I look around and I go, okay, what's next?
Mhm.
Is
Mm.
and then that can be, I feel so back to like Bezos, Musk, probably both of them. So they're different, I feel like. And I'm talking as if I know them, but I don't. But I feel like they're different, but they kind of have the same thing. It's never enough. And I think that's borderline unhealthy. But
Oh, you think Bezos and Elon Musk's and the guys trying to get trillionaires, that's unhealthy?
let me ask you this. If you had half the money of either of those guys, would you work another day in your life?
That's another question I ask
Would you
myself
keep
all the time.
striving? Would you keep pushing the way that those guys the work? I mean, you might go to work, but would you work like they work?
See, this is the thing. Here's my answer. Like, if I think those guys, they can't not go. Like, I think what makes them tick is growing it.
Yeah.
It's not the money.
No, can't be.
It's like
They got plenty of money.
it's something more to them. Like I want
So,
to make the biggest impact
yep.
on planet Earth as I
Yeah.
possibly can, as long as I
Yeah.
can.
That's a great point. So, okay. So, new definition of rich. A lot of rich people at different levels talk about this. At a certain point, you have enough money. You don't need more money. So then it becomes legacy.
Hmm.
When you're capable of focusing on the legacy and not needing more money,
Yeah.
that's
Good.
rich. And that could be for a lot of people, that's 100 grand a year. And now they start giving the rest away to charity. And then you got guys like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, which I'm sure they give a lot of way to charity and all that. I with them, with guys like that, my question is, are you doing it because of an unhealthy relationship with your success, or do you enjoy it that much? Because if you enjoy it, if you saying if you enjoy making 100 grand a year and having weekends off and being home at 4 o'clock, then great, do that. And if you enjoy working your ass off, even though you're worth $100 billion, then do that. But if you're miserable at either of those, well, then you got to fix it.
Mm.
You can be miserable at both of those, and you can be happy at both of those. I know plenty of people that make 100 grand a year that seem happy as hell to me.
Mm. So what
And,
did we? I like how you summed that up. The 100K. You said the difference between rich and what was something about legacy. When you
yeah,
stop worrying about, say it again.
So that's a great definition. So it's the better answer, my final answer for how when you're rich is when you can choose to switch to focusing on building the legacy versus building more wealth. I feel like Panade is there. He's focused on, he's doing his what do you call it? The church stuff, the wealthy kingdom. He probably focuses more on that than he does on home run offer. You know what I mean? And then Brandon Turner is a good example. I like his business model because he likes to take charity and make profit out of them. Have you heard of his podcast, Brandon Turner?
Yeah, better life, right? I
Better
have
Life.
never listened to an episode.
It's great. But 100% of
Is
the
it?
revenue from that podcast, which a podcast can be very lucrative. 100% of the revenue goes to charity. But his other businesses feed off the social media aspect of it, the influence. He gets deals, he gets money, he gets blah blah blah. So he's turning a profit off of this charity. But the charity,
Indirectly.
yeah, he had a term for it, and I really liked it. It was something like for profit charity or something like that. Like not taking from the charity, but use the fact that you have the charity to build network and influence as well,
That's awesome.
and then just go make money with your buddies. Like that's, you know what I mean? That's what he does. That's huge.
Yeah.
Brent Daniels is a good example of that. Like all of his like family members and best friends from high school work for him.
Well, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, that's a little different than making money with, I guess, because like in the sense
They're
of making money,
employees, right? Yeah.
yeah, they're not partners, and he
They ain't
makes a
getting
hell
the
of a lot more.
profits.
But they're good with it, obviously, or else they would leave. And he probably treats them really well, I'm assuming, or else they would have left.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you, dude. This was I knew it'd be interesting. And it
Yeah,
was.
I got on here assuming, like, I wanted to get on the group call and see if I could help, and then I had a couple questions to ask you. I didn't know we were going to get so deep, but it was great.
Bro, I could if I wanted to, we could go rabbit hole, but
Oh, so okay, so one more question then. I'll reverse your question on you because I'm thinking about right now the question you asked me. Can you hang out with
yeah.
normal people?
Oh,
So yes, I can. I prefer the entrepreneurs. The conversations are better. Can you have this conversation with your normies, with your W-2 buddies and family members?
never.
I feel like it's pretty high level, you know.
Never. I do not like talking and hanging out with W2 minded people. Um, like let's talk about my friends and family. Like, I remember how I was, dude. I no longer want to be. It's almost like people who I used to, let's say I used to smoke weed and drink and do that, and now I don't do it anymore, but they still do, right? I don't want that mindset to leak onto me, their
Right.
lack mentality. I
Yeah.
don't like it. I don't want to
Yeah.
be around it,
Yeah.
but
You
I
have to
still want to
dose
love my
yourself.
friends.
Yeah. So you have to kind of love them from afar. Like even my best friend in the whole world, our relationship has changed. We used to talk about all the same shit. We agreed on everything
Yeah.
and we had the same goals. And now we don't. Now it's like I'm telling him, here's my goal, bro. Like he's my best friend. I want to call him and have that conversation of, look, bro, like let's talk about how cool this is going to be. I don't know for a fact, but I feel like him and some other people, when they hear about what I'm doing and what I plan to do, it demeans what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll say I probably maybe I shouldn't, but I'll tell buddies who make 100 and a half a year. I'll tell them, if you're not making, speaking about myself or just in general, if you're not making $250,000 a year, you're in trouble. There's there's a ton of people that are trapped in a lifestyle, in a house, because they bought it in 2010 or 2012 or 15 or whatever, rates were low, prices were low. They can't buy another house because they can't afford to. They can't afford to buy their house because they don't make enough money. And they haven't seen that basically 20 grand a month is the new 100 grand a year, 10 grand a month. 20, a good lifestyle, it's kind of a bold statement, but in my mind, a good lifestyle starts at 20 grand a month
Yeah.
with what you can do with it in this economy. And when you tell somebody that and they make 7 grand a month, what are
Not
you,
like you.
what are you saying about me, bro? Like, I'm not all about money, I want this and that. It's like, yeah, you're making a lot of excuses. Again, if you're truly happy where you're at, then you shouldn't take offense to what I'm saying. This is just me, if you're making 100 grand a year and you're truly happy, great. I don't look down on you. It's not me. And I feel like you're making a lot of sacrifices you don't need to, because it's not that hard to make 250 grand a year.
To the W-2 minded, brought through the school system, brought through the system that we call America, dude, $60,000 is awesome. And
Yeah.
they've brainwashed people.
Yep.
We've been taught that's good.
Yeah. Spend 60 grand on school and then go make 60 grand a year.
100 grand more. Like,
That
and
was
I sat back like, bro, none of this makes sense. And I felt like I was the only one. They're like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
None of this makes, I don't like any of this.
And when
I've been like that my whole life.
when you talk about aspirations of more than that in that group, because I've done it, when I work with those guys, I would chitter chatter, like, especially when I was just starting my like self-improvement phase, trying to get my mind right. I read
Yeah.
Rich Dad Poor Dad and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
It's all I would talk about. It's kind of still all I talk about. And those guys get tired of it because it's like they don't want those thoughts to get in their head, because then they'll become unhappy thinking that they could have more. And then it becomes crabs in a bucket. And they just want to keep everybody, no, don't go, stay here, stay with me. Let's just all pretend that this is okay. And it is okay for some people. It's not for me. So you have to get around higher minded people. And that's what I thrive off of. I have a group of guys, the group of guys that I was telling you about that inspired me to take the leap. We all hang out at in Havasu and Glamis, in the desert. I'm the poorest guy besides their employees that tag along.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm closer in monetarily to the employees that they have than I am to them. Like, some of these guys are making, 10-20 million dollars a year, or their businesses. They
Yeah.
have millions of dollars, and they $200,000 toys,
Yeah.
you don't
That's where
need
I'm
that.
at. I want to be
So hang out, do yourself a favor and constantly hang out with people that are above you.
Yes. Yes.
Attain you,
Blow me out of the water. Yeah.
yeah, because you like,
I want that to rub off on me.
so I'm sure you're the same as me. I can go in a group of people that I went to high school with or whatever and tell them what I got going on, and their mind is blown.
Right. And you're like,
What do you,
this
yeah,
is nothing, dude.
you got to meet my buddy over here, and then of course hanging out, wealthy investor and, the masterminds and whatnot. You hang out with a lot of high level people and you realize that, you're doing pretty good, but but compared to somebody, what you're doing ain't shit. So go hang out with that guy because he'll make you go, oh, right. Yeah, no, that could be a thing. And then try
That's
to,
the difference. That's the difference right there. They talk to you, you're doing big things, they feel bad, negative experience. We go meet the dude 10, 20x
yeah,
than us, we get
yeah,
inspired
it should fire you
to
up.
do more.
Yep.
It's a
You're
different,
100%
it's a
correct.
mindset.
If it doesn't fire you up, then your mindset's broken.
Yes, 1,000%.
Yeah. So yeah, two people in the world, they see somebody doing better than them, they tear them down, they feel bad, so don't want to hang out with that person. And then the other person gets fired up and goes, okay, show me, how'd you do it?
You can do it. I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. You have, and then, or maybe there's like a level of, what's the word? Like audacity. You know what I mean? Like when I look at those guys, I go, I could do that. I feel like I could do that. If you, it takes a certain level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like if you're, arrogant, it takes a
You
certain level of arrogance to go, I could do that.
you do as an entrepreneur, you gotta be delusional to
Yeah.
think you can even do that.
Uh-huh.
But it's common sense though. He followed a set of blueprint, a set of rules and principles
Right.
that if I did the exact same thing, it has to work for me.
Yep.
If Jeff Bezos was like, Ron, here's
Yep.
100 steps.
Yep.
Here's how to do them. And
Yep.
I did them, I'd have Ramazan,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
He may be like ahead of me, but I'm blowing everyone else out of the,
Dude,
you know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna get you a hat and a t-shirt that says Ranazan. That's amazing. Yeah, you're right.
oh man.
And yeah, so it's these conversations are super helpful. Like because it makes me feel like I'm not the only one. And it makes
Yeah.
me feel like I'm in the right spot and I'm doing the right thing because you're doing the thing and you think the way that I think.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm
just
just
more
a
proof.
little bit
Yeah.
like if you look at the scale, I'm just like a little bit ahead of you.
There's a big difference between you and I as far as like where you're at in the totem pole and where I'm at. But it's only so it's like when you look at do you follow golf at all? What's your sport?
Not really, but football, basketball, yeah.
Football. Okay.
Football
So
mainly.
football and basketball, same thing. And all the same thing with the elite sports, NBA, NFL, PGA, MLB. The difference between the guy that's, the Babe Ruth, the freaking Tom Brady, the difference between him and the guy that didn't make it is huge in lifestyle, in success, in his legacy, but it's only that much in skill, in what he was capable of doing. He's just 1% better, and that makes
Yeah.
him
A lot
so.
better.
So your business is here, my business is here. The difference that I need to make is minuscule to get there.
Yeah. You can pass me, bro. Like, I see people pass people by all the time. And they're like, how'd that guy beat me? It don't take long either.
Yeah, well, just if we all just kind of keep leapfrogging each other, that'd be great. Like let's say I come to your level, surpass you, and you go, hey, I
How'd you
showed
do that? Teach me.
I showed you some stuff. Now
That's,
what's up? How'd you get there?
that's
Well,
what
I
I would
went to
do.
this, and then hopefully we just climb together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. There's stuff someone could I know for a fact, because I could do it right now, could come look at my business. Someone's doing $4 million at what I'm doing. Could come look at my business for probably like an hour or two and write down two or three things that I'm messing up, and I could get right to where they're at.
And it'll change your whole business life, everything. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Small tweak.
yep,
10,
yeah. When you
20% tweak. Bam.
Yeah, there's a huge leap from doesn't know anything about wholesaling, just talk about wholesale, and that's what we do. Doesn't know anything about wholesaling to making a living as a wholesaler. Huge jump. And you got to do a lot to change there. You have to
That's the
grow as a
biggest
person.
that's the biggest
Right.
growth is that
The first
0 to 100K.
100K, yeah, 10K a month is a giant leap and it seems daunting. And then you get there and you go, okay, now I know what to do and I just need to do more of it and more efficient and get better at, close more deals. The leads that come in, we close more of them for more
Scale.
money and we do more outputs because we're more efficient. And then we hire people and now we're even more, we're doubling ourselves or 1 and 3/4 ourselves because it's almost never going to be double. your employee's almost never going to do twice what you do. But if they do, geez.
You'll be able to find them one day where they'll just destroy you because all they do is
You
focus on.
okay? So
They just do that.
do you feel like you have employees on your staff uh that are better than you at whatever,
No,
acquisition, disposition?
no, I'm not there yet. I know in the previous business we had a couple sales guys that were that they weren't better than me, but they could produce more than me because it's all they're freaking doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
They're just doing acquisition.
Yeah.
I'm
And
doing dispo, managing, all this other stuff.
yeah.
I
And
can close better than you, but I can't be on the phone for 8 hours a day.
right.
You can.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
gonna destroy me.
Yeah. Yeah. You grind better than I do at that. Yeah.
I don't want to be on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the visionary guy needs to bounce around and do some different stuff.
That is, are you visionary type? You're a captain, right?
Well, yeah,
No, you're
I'm a
control.
individualist.
Yeah. Is this a sales profile?
Yeah. Yeah. It's individualist,
You
captain,
showed it
and
to me.
maverick are about the same. The difference between me
Oh,
and the difference between me and a maverick is I'm a little bit more structured. The maverick's usually just a wild man.
wow.
Are you
Wow.
captain?
I'm
Maverick?
captain. I
Captain.
hook back.
Yeah.
My rule following comes back. That's like the governance. If I didn't have that, I'd be a maverick.
Yeah. Yeah. But with that, it's not like Maverick's better. I don't think.
No,
It's just
they need to be paired with like the Maverick Captain combo is that's what
right.
me and my last partner were. We did $4 billion
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
It's
not a
insane.
matter of, there's certain profiles that are not going to be an entrepreneur. But of the ones that are salesy or entrepreneurial, visionary minded, no one's better than the other. It's just you need to know which one you are so you can know where to put your focus
Exactly. No
and
doubt.
understand. Like for me, it was huge to understand um, what I thought was a weakness of mine is actually a strength. It's
What's
something,
that?
well, just several things, but it's the things that set me apart from all the people that I used to work with was a downside. It was a downer. The fact that I can't focus. I don't want to be here for do the one thing for too long. I have ADHD. So in a factory setting, which I've worked kind of like a machine shop type thing, where you literally show up and you just go like
No, can't do it.
thing, put the thing, do the same thing over and over again. There's nothing new.
Nothing
And
new.
and I rubbed those guys wrong because there was processes where I was like, why are we doing it this way? Shouldn't we do
Hmm.
this? And they go, no, 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 no. That's how we've always done it. Don't
Right.
change it.
Just
Just
shut
let
up
me
and do
just
your
let me
job.
show up and shut my brain off and kill the
Yeah.
next 3 hours, and then we'll all just agree to do things the same. And
We're
then
very
yeah,
similar in that respect, man.
and then in construction, it's don't work too hard, don't work too fast, because then we'll all have to do it. And we're just trying to kill these 8 hours, bro. And we need to we don't want to work ourselves out of a job, because if you get it done ahead of time, you might not have another job to go to because you
Right.
weren't planning on that job being done yet. So yeah, those are all I want to get things done quickly. I kind of have to, like, the stuff that I don't like, I want to get it done quick. So I'm going to figure out how to get it to become really efficient at it. I'm not killing time. I've done enough of that in my W-2 life, just watching the clock.
Like in school, you're sitting there like tick, tick,
And
tick,
things
then get a
going
job.
backwards.
Tick,
Yeah.
tick.
Yep.
Wasting so much valuable human time. I've pulled my kids out of school, second year, and I just could just imagine if what school could be like. We don't have to go down this pathway, but just a thought, go to school, do your math, science, social studies, knock that out in like an hour or two. That's all it
Right.
takes. Homeschool
Yeah.
kids.
You get almost punished for doing that because you still got to sit there.
right? The rest of the time, what should they be doing? What they enjoy. Go apprentice. You want to be a veterinarian? You're going to go, we're going to drop you off at the veterinarian house and you're going to intern there. Why?
Yeah.
So you'll be 14 years old and you'll know how to do so much stuff by
Yep.
the time you're 15.
Yep.
They'll hire you at 16. You start
Yep.
work. We don't need you in school till you're 18 years old. You can provide value.
Yeah.
You can go to college, become a veterinarian. You already know what to do. You have on-the-job training for every industry. There's
Yep.
enough for everybody. You want to work on cars, you're going to work at the car shop. You're going to start changing oil. Then you're going to start doing brakes.
Yeah.
Before you know it, he'll teach you how to run the business. You'll be working in a shop. You'll intern there. He'll get free hours, free labor from you. You're getting free skills. You can come out and be. How good of a mechanic will you be if you started when you're 14 and you liked it?
Yeah.
You weren't forced to do it. You got to pick where you wanted an apprenticeship at.
Yeah. And then of course,
This would change the economy.
if you enjoy it, then you end up talking about it. And if you communicate well, then you can sell it and then you can make the real money. It's in sales. If you can't sell anything, then you can't make a lot of money. You're never going to make a lot of money per hour. And the thought that I had when you were talking about the school structure, think about who made that.
Rockefeller.
A bunch of employees. Who's running that right now? The principal, the school teacher, the janitor, they're all employees. Again, not a bad thing, but I mean, if you want to be successful, like really successful and own a business or something like that, don't take too much into what they're saying.
Well, when the world started falling apart for me even more, it was when I went to college and I went to business class. The first question I asked,
What
what
business?
business do you guys own?
Yeah. No,
We don't.
I got a job.
So what am I doing here? Listening to you.
Yeah. What do you know?
It
Yeah.
made no sense to me, bro.
Yeah.
You're telling me how to do business and this, you don't even have one.
Well, and then
What
so
are we doing?
thank God that we're in the time that we're in now where you can kind of go to school. Like I spent, 50 grand on essentially education, which was, future flipper, wealthy investor.
You spent 50K, bro?
Overall, yeah, I was like 20 something to sign up, 20, 21 the first time. And then I re-upped for 8. I'm 15K into Tykes.
Oh, bro, that was
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. And then
What? That's the problem I have was that one.
and then we spent money on other stuff throughout the program and other courses and then not to mention, I mean, how much money did you spend just going to Vegas? Well, I spent a lot of money just going to Vegas, staying in the hotel, taking the flights.
Yeah, you go
So
every quarter.
it's not, if it's not 50, it's close. It's for sure 30 or 40.
And it was going to make you way more money than the dude who spent 100K at US, whatever he went to college. Most people
Well,
will
and
never make 100K in a year.
here's the thing. I have an ROI on that. I met Fernando there. He became a partner of mine on a flip that we made 75 grand on. So it's like earn while you learn, and I learned from people who were doing it. That was what my point was. Like these teachers, here's how you do business. Really? What what business are you doing? Yeah. So, but anyways, it's 8 o'clock. I've been
Yep.
abandoning my family. It's been great. I'd like to do it again.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
I think next time I'm gonna next time I see you, get you on here, I want to ask you more about coaching and what that was like because I want to make my coaching top notch. Like what were the problems? What was like setbacks in coaching programs that didn't launch you? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like all the questions. So when you come to my training, my coaching, it's already there.
Yeah. And we can talk for a long time. We can talk for a long time about that, and I'm happy to, but I can sum it up real quick. Most of the problems with you can make a coaching program on whatever subject, call it real estate or whatever, Amazon drop shipping. I don't care. You can make that training so good that it's impossible for you to fail. If you just do what, let's say you have a course, and if you just follow it step by step, you cannot fail. You will make $1 million a year as a business, at least. People will still fail at it. It's
But
a
they won't do the
person,
work.
right? I mean, I'm sure you've done the same thing. I've told people, I have a buddy that, regular job, saw what I was doing. He's like, I think I could do that. I want to start flipping houses, maybe do some wholesale. He did one flip and then try one wholesale deal. And then he said it was too hard and that he wanted to go back to a regular job. And if you ask him, it's because he's in a small market and there's no deals. But there's people doing deals in that market. I promise. It's Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh
So
yeah.
you I tell him, okay, here's what you do. Do this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, it's not working. Well, did you do it? Yeah. Well, how much of it? One of it. It's like you got to do. If you can't do 6 months of something with no proof of it working, then you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
You have to be able to get it wrong that long and still go. And that goes back to what you said, delusional. But yeah, we can talk about courses, good ones, bad ones, things that should be in them. But ultimately the value in the course is the network,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
It's who you get around and then what you do with it.
Yep.
I took
100%.
I took whatever information you would give me. I took that and it's not like I just did everything you said to do. I took the stuff that made sense to me from you, Pineda, the Boakley brothers, whoever was there. And you build this like poker hand and you go, okay, I got all this info from all these guys. Let's see. I'm gonna take this one and this one, throw it out, and then you get new ones, and hopefully it makes a good hand at some point. And I feel like it has. You were definitely a huge influence, but
Awesome. Thank you.
it's not it's not just you. It's the network. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Awesome, dude. Well, let's get to our families, man. I hear my family's out here growling and growling. My stomach's growling. They're
Yeah,
starting to
same
act
here.
up.
Yeah, I already
Yeah.
missed dinner. But yeah, this was good. So we should do it more often. You said you were going to start a podcast, right? Did you do that?
No, like I guess technically this can be the first episode, like because I think it's easier for me to like. I was thinking about what am I gonna do for this free? Because I want to do free forever. Well, just start a podcast, bring people on who are having success, bring your students on who are having success, bring the people you know, and talk about wholesale real estate. That's really,
It's the best.
and maybe
That's
do a
the
Q and
best.
A. If there's people here, they can be like, all right, what questions you got for Mike? What questions? So it's like, it just makes it easier on me, to make
Yeah, and I
content.
mean, you just proved that you can spend an hour and keep the conversation going, and you know what I mean, make it interesting. So
Yeah, we could go for hours.
yeah, 100%. And podcasting is huge because it hits all the angles. You got clips for social media.
Yeah.
You are, you obviously you get the influence, so you get deals, money, and employees
Yep.
and partnerships. Um, and then you get to pick the people that are on that show. So you can go hit up the guy that you've been wanting to talk to and learn the thing that he's doing. Or maybe just go pick interesting people or try to, and then the guy that teaches you the most, you might not have expected it. Just get people on, hear their story, and you will learn by through osmosis. You know what I mean? So you're learning, you're earning, you're growing your social media. You don't have to sit down and make a separate content. You just cut up the podcast. I
You're
think
exactly right.
it's a win.
You're also getting better at speaking, communicating,
Yep.
reps,
Yep.
being better host, being a
Yep.
better interviewer,
Yep. Public speaker.
becoming homies with people,
Yep. Network.
like that network,
Yep.
invite them out, come speak, do an event, make
So
money.
okay. So I'll leave you with this. We both agree that podcasts are amazing. It's a great
Who's gonna do it?
but why haven't we done it? I have a suspicion on my end. I'm scared. I'm scared to start it and then not follow through with it and watch and have everybody see that, oh, he failed. He
Oh, that's a real
It's a
one from,
commitment.
yeah. For me, dude, I have started them and I just didn't like it. Like I didn't like what I was talking about. I don't necessarily, dude, to be honest with you, bro, like I don't necessarily want to teach real estate. I wanted to be a house flipper and do all these cool, make a bunch of money flipping houses. I'm a man of faith, bro, and I don't think that's what God wants me to do.
Okay.
What I want to do is what God wants me to do, and I think He wants me to teach others how to serve others, make money, teach Christians and anybody how to do this, and
So
wholesale and teach it. That's what I think I'm here to
so
do.
based on our
I'm testing it out.
conversation, based on the conversation, you're already rich then because you're thinking about legacy and your value and what you're bringing to the community.
He's gonna rush his teeth and go to bed.
What's up, Danielle?
She just came in to tell me that my son's going to bed, so I got to go read him a story.
Go get it. Three Little Pigs. My daughter's tired of but she loves Rumpelstiltskin's story. She can't get enough of it.
Dude, how old's your daughter?
She's 8.
Okay, my son's gonna be 7 in October. We're reading amphibians and reptiles. Like it's like a science book. It's not even a story. He's- I think my kid's a nerd, bro. And he can tell you all the
Oh.
dinosaurs and animals, and I think he's going to be like a biologist or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was into that too as a kid. I had the Britannica. I forget what they were called. It was like this big
Encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia Britannica with all animals, and I would just be like orangutans and parrots. Now I don't care about any of that stuff. I care about space.
Yeah, yeah. Don't get me started on that. All right, brother. I'm gonna let
Cool,
you
brother.
go.
We'll be on here for another
And
hour, you know.
at the very least, I'll see you next week. I'll
Yes,
be here.
sir. Good call.
All right, buddy.